trophies in the game in its spiritual home, the home of the first ever champions, the Invincibles of Preston North End. Leicester in their change strip, but there's plenty of blue around and plenty of East Midlands voices filling the distinctly murky and wet air. Well, for a time in the early part of the season, the home side were up there with them. A season that started with great promise, weren't quite able to sustain that and live with the likes of Leicester. But Leicester come to a club that have plenty to be proud of in terms of their performances this season, fighting against the financial odds. And it must be remembered that Preston are unbeaten against the rest of the top four this season here. Beaten Ipswich and Leeds and drew with Southampton. So let's take a check on the team news. And for Preston, the home campaign ends without defensive mainstay Jordan Storey, who is ill. He's pulled out rather late on. His absence opens the door to Jack Watmough in the back three. There is refreshment in attack, with Mats Frökjær returning in the number 10 role. It's one Dane in and one Dane out. Emil Rees stands down for the Montenegrin Milutin Osmajic. He'll partner top scorer Will Keane. And after over a decade of sterling service, this may be Alan Brown's last game at Deepdale, as he is yet to sign a new deal. Well, after the party, no hangovers, they hope, but to refresh the ranks of the weary Warriors, Conor Cody, Casey McAteer, Yunus Akgün and goalkeeper Jakub Stelacic are drafted in. It's Stelacic's first league start since August and only his second of the season. Hermansen, James Justin, former Preston player Steffi Mavididi and Keenan Dewsbury Hall, who scored 2 goals in the reverse fixture, all dropped down to the substitutes bench. The architect of the triumph. What happens beyond now is still shrouded in uncertainty, but that can be firmly at the back of minds. They can bask in the glory of a wonderful season, whether they lay their hands on the trophy or not. And the odds are certainly in their favour. But this certainly won't be easy given Preston's record at home against the best teams, and a Dane who's improved after a bit of a bamboozling start to Championship life, Don.
Yeah, I mean, it must have been a real culture shock for him when he first came in. He's 24 years old, he's talented, 3 goals, 8 assists in a team that really is not that creative. I think you're going to see a lot more from him next season, a lot better from him next season.
Well, other attacking talents have grabbed the headlines for Leicester, but they found of late where there's a Wilf, there's a way.
Yeah, absolutely. Big players, big moments in big games, and Wilfred Ndidi came up trumps, particularly with a goal against West Bromwich Albion. I think he's at least one of several players that they don't have to worry whether they're Premier League ready. They certainly are.
Still some very big clubs keeping tabs on his progress. Well, whatever happens, however their Premier League campaign starts, it's certainly been a wonderful ride in England's second tier. And there is potentially history in the making tonight, as Leicester come here seeking to secure an outright record 8th second-tier title. They would move ahead of Manchester City in the all-time list if they can achieve that. So it's Preston who get us away, the final home game of their season, which began so brilliantly. Injuries have bitten at various points. There was certainly a dip in the autumn and early winter. They responded to that, but in the last 3 games things have finally definitively fallen away as far as the playoffs are concerned. But they can be pretty clinical when chances come their way, and they certainly have the talent to fashion them.
Preston North End up until City were right in it, weren't they? For them to be 5 points off 6th after 40-odd games with a game in hand, I think it's a remarkable effort, I've got to say. It's way beyond I thought they might be this season.
Well, I do recall being there when a beach ball played a major part in a Darren Bent goal for Sunderland against Liverpool. The end-of-season inconveniences that you sometimes get when a team travels in party mood. Well, I must say that beach ball game at Sunderland was in October, I think, if memory serves. An early opportunity to plough a furrow for Robbie Brady. Certainly sparkled the night against Southampton and doubled his championship goal tally for the season in the space of one evening.
He's been more the assist king, hasn't he, than goal scorer. Tawu, but the first season, what a brilliant season he's had.
Vestergaard. Strides.
That's just a fraction too much of him. It's noticeable, isn't it, this season? Licence to get further forward. He's done it to great effect on occasion.
Certainly benefited from the presence of Harry Winks in that midfield area.
You throw in Kiernan Dewsbury Hall and you've got a Premier League midfield trio there, haven't you, without any question.
Plenty to smile about. Kiernan Dewsbury Hall, obviously, and indeed in the reverse fixture, he got 2 goals. For an hour, it was very, very even, that game, but Leicester, as the top teams tend to do, took control. Now to Conor Cody. Hoping to get on the end of this. Cody. And again. Pereira. We're really playing the customary guessing game as to which side the fullbacks would play, with the Wout Faes' presence in the team, along with Conor Cody and Vestergaard today. Fascinating aspect of their system. It's Winks to Conor Pereira. Now for Tawu. I don't know which way he wants to go, but on the outside he might make something else happen. Flag up. Offside.
Well, it was noticeable. They cut the inside channel off to Abdul Fatawu there. In a week where we've seen so many wide players cutting in and curling goals into the far corner, I have to give the attacking element of that real praise. Some of the defending has left a lot to be desired. Preston knew and will be mindful.
Yeah, I can imagine Ryan Lowe's reaction tonight if that were to happen, given all the reminders everybody in the Championship has had in the last few days. Keane doing well and applying some pressure, and it's Liam Miller. It's a looking ball, to say the least, from Ryan Ledson.
Goalkeeper. Really unsure about whether to attempt to gather that. It's just Robbie Brady is just delayed there, look, the left wing back. Would have gone a fraction earlier. There may have been something in that cross from him.
more retrieval duties to perform to ensure a clear playing surface. Here's Ricardo Pereira. And it could be the second successive season in which the Championship title is secured in Lancashire. Burnley did it at Blackburn last season, which would have certainly sweetened the experience even further.
Blackburn Rovers fans are going to love you for that.
Well, if they don't do it tonight, they might do it against Blackburn. That's whom they play in their final game, and it's still a big one for a team from across Lancashire. Not quite safe yet.
I'm sure there's an element of relief in the Leicester City ranks. It's the fans, the players, the staff, that they did get the job done. The job got done for them last Friday evening in West London. As these away games, they've lost 3 in a row, 1-0. So had the job not been done, this could have been a very nervy affair for Leicester City.
Casey McAteer with his first real involvement, and Ndidi, and at least a shout.
I don't know whether he's claiming a handball. Wilfred Ndidi. I think Preston want a goal kick. I think Preston are getting a goal kick.
And the shout was against Liam Lindsay, I think.
Yeah, his arms right by his side. Cannot be given penalties for that. And I'm glad that in the main we haven't been.
Liam Lindsay, the Players' Player of the Year here at Deepdale, or one of their most reliable performers. And Ryan Lowe's team will finish in the top half, possibly as high as 8th, which would be a significant step forward. There is huge expectation at this club, not really borne out by the circumstances of the club in financial terms, but it's more because they've seen all their rivals enjoy spells in the top flight in recent years.
Well, they're one of only 5, aren't they, in the whole of the Championship that haven't been in the Premier League since its inception.
Fabulous top flight history, though, way back.
They were the best, weren't they? But he's an ambitious young man, Ryan Lowe. Just will not be wanting to settle for mid-table season in, season out.
It's 1961 since Preston last played in the top flight. And Tom Finney, the great Tom Finney, had retired the previous summer. One of the greatest players these islands have ever produced, and the world.
I think we have a referee in a charitable mood here. To get a yellow card for that is a bit on the fortunate side, if you ask me. Katir does really well. Watmore just holds him down.
A good free transfer for Preston. Watmore, England Youth International, where he played alongside Harry Winks. Leicester supporters clearly grateful for Leeds' failure to turn up at Loftus Road, and making that point again, but they could yet join them in the Premier League via the automatic route. Nothing is certain in that department just yet. Fast drifted in there, but comfortably able to watch it was Woodman.
I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a season like this where the pressure and the stress of getting over the line has affected literally every single team involved in the automatic promotion race. When you look at the results that Leeds, Ipswich, Southampton and Leicester, that run of 6 defeats in 10, they don't care anymore though, because the prize is theirs. But it's been a pressure affected finish to this season.
You have to take your eyes well off the top of the table to find a team that's banging form at the moment, which is rather intriguing ahead of this season's playoffs. There's not a lot of momentum about.
No, I was looking at that the other day.
Sledson to Hughes. Pursued by Unisaku. Yeah, did just creep out of play. Well, that's a bit of a collector's item from Connor Cody. Presents Preston with a good situation. It'll take a lot to dampen the Leicester City supporters' mood tonight, whatever the outcome. This is Winks. Looking to get Will Keane away. Fast intervening. Oh, very productive bargain by Will Keane, about £250,000. He's their top scorer this season with 13 goals.
It's a very decent return, isn't it? As I said, the big problem they've had is the creative edge, isn't it? Particularly towards the business end, where failed to score in 5 of the last 6 games. Preston, it's proved costly.
This is Miller, hoping to provide that bit of creativity here. And he's able to get away from fast, but only able to find Winks. McAteer on the receiving end of that challenge from Milutin Osmaic.
Interesting, the best performance arguably that Leicester have produced this season in the last game came when they had the least amount of the ball, under 34% of the ball, which is incredible for them at this level, but could be a useful template for next season in the Premier League, because they are going to play in games where that's the amount of ball that they get. They were ruthless against Southampton.
It was a throwback to another Italian manager's template in the Premier League. Radio's legacy lives on. Good steal that by Brady. Fricke's ball will be cut out by Fass. This is McAteer. A League One club when he joined Leicester. What a remarkable ride it must have been for him to be on the books of a team that have enjoyed such dramatic changes of fortune. He's sparkled on more than the odd occasion this season. Injury problems, of course, during the course of the campaign. And Brown's got himself into a bit of bother here, and Akgun can exploit it. It's a beautiful ball, and Vardy is denied.
Well, it's the kind of run that Jamie Vardy has been making for all of these years. Really clever movement, hard to keep track of. Akgun found him with a beautiful ball. Watch the movement here from Jamie Vardy. Once they win this ball back here, drifts away and then darts in, timed to perfection. The only thing you'd say, the angle was always against him. Freddie Woodman does well.
Lindsay. Now Hughes. To Ledson and now to Brown. Tawu. the other bit that's not quite as headline grabbing. Brady's got away and a chance to use that lethal left foot. So net by Vestergaard's head.
Okay, in the opening exchanges here, Preston North End. Usually do at home, actually. And solid.
Some potential here. Patrick in the crowd, but he was beaten to it by one of his own defenders. And the chase on here, but with a head start is Mas Fröker. Return to the starting lineup tonight after the first championship start of the campaign for Ben Woodburn at QPR. Game decided by a very rare error from Freddie Woodman in the Preston goal. I don't know if the trap was sprung there. Maybe as though Miller was on the border of offside at least.
Oh, I think he timed it to perfection. As the ball is released, he's well onside. And he just doesn't take the ball in his stride, otherwise Leicester have problems.
That's why I'm not an assistant referee, Doc.
You're right in line with it as well. Shame on you.
Must do better. This is Brady. Hughes. Brady.
It's not the worst ball in the world. It's just strikers, none of the strikers get across that near post, and that's in the old days. One of you had to get across that near post.
There's been what appears to be maybe a little subtle tweak to the way Preston have set up this evening, certainly without the ball, with Fröker and Keane either side of Osmajic, rather than one in behind the two. And they do have a pair of genuine front men out there. This is very promising work indeed by McAteer. The final bit didn't quite live up to the first bit.
Thought we were going to get another wide player cutting in on his strong foot and rifling one in for a second there. It's excellent work. He just doesn't get the clean, powerful strike or the direction really that he's after, but good work.
Miller. Went to the last World Cup with Canada. Okay, looking to feed him again. Particularly in the early part of the season, got a lot of attention, teams doubling up on him, and he's gifted possession here to Vardy. End product not quite been there from him this season. This is Ndidi. Harry Winks. Pass. Forward, and Osmajic giving chase here. look every bit as cool as a Leicester City goalkeeper needs to be with the ball at his feet. Seen plenty of cup action this year, distinguished himself by saving a penalty at Chelsea, the FA Cup. This is Winks. Ricardo Pereira. Sakun. Playing the Champions League back in August for Galatasaray. Yunus Akgün with a chance here. A block of some importance there from Liam Lindsay, underlining his reputation as Preston's most reliable defender.
That's excellent awareness.
That's another potentially threatening ball from Connor Cody.
Switched on, lovely little flick there. Ricardo Pereira. Gun. Eyes must have been lighting up, but it's outstanding defending from Liam Lindsay.
Looking up his record of having started every Championship game this season, reliable, durable, and vital to the Preston cause. Freddie Woodman not particularly heavily inconvenienced there, and looking to get Preston moving. The man who's inspired so many great moments, Alan Brown, was the recipient, and this is Miller. Brady. Ledson. Brown is the target. Watmo. Keane loose in possession, but buzzing around to win it back is Liam Miller. Brady.
Three and counting, beach balls.
Well, it's just a shame
more where that came from as well.
It's just a shame we don't have the weather to match, really. It's well, you could be forgiven for thinking it's early February. And as Robert Robinson would say, would that it were for Preston, because they were in a really good situation back then, really. Still very much in the fight. It's Connor Cody.
Not quite at it, are they, Leicester? It's understandable, I have to say. We see it very frequently at this time of year. And teams have achieved their main objective.
I don't think we're quite in the situation in the old days where you could probably still smell the beer out there, but it's a little different done now.
Yeah, probably better that way.
Yes, but maybe the edge is less than razor sharp at times.
It's just a few passes going astray that you wouldn't ordinarily expect from his Leicester team.
So it's Hughes over the kick. There was a moment of concern about him, but he seems to be okay right now, the Welshman. He was more inconvenienced by Ricardo Pereira than Will Keane. So Brady to Fröker. Keane. hit double figures at least in the league in each of his last 4 seasons, Will Keane, wherever he's been. Striker of potential who's taken some time to really deliver consistently in front of goal. It certainly has done for Preston when given the opportunities to do so. This is indeed and that's going to be a free kick. That one going against Osmaic. Who is there? Club record signing just over £2 million, which really does hammer home the difference here. Leicester not just top of the league in terms of their performance on the field, but also the finances available to them, while Preston have what they reckon here is a bottom 6 wage bill. The wage bill is usually the most reliable indicator of how a team is going to perform, and so Preston have well exceeded that.
Luton have put the pressure on all the rest, haven't they, in that regard?
Well, absolutely. And Leicester themselves in what can be achieved against the odds in the Premier League a few years back. Ricardo Pereira. Just because some teams do it doesn't mean it's any easier for anybody else.
As I said, it's hard to understand at times where Preston supporters perhaps feel that this team should be.
And that could be interesting. Oh, and a chance there for Makatia, which he doesn't take.
Well, this is the thing about Leicester City, they're very patient. This is only their second really half-decent opportunity, but that goes down as a poor miss, doesn't it? Makatia at the far post, under no challenge, he's just got to make sure he hits the target. He hits the target, he scores.
It's the first big let-off that anybody has experienced tonight. That falls kindly for Keane, and it will be picked up here by Brady. And now becomes a trio of Irish internationals with Alan Brown on the ball. Has been offered a contract, Alan Brown, that would make him the highest paid player in Preston North End's history, but it does seem as though he is going to leave the club that he's served so well for over a decade. No one knows quite what he's going to do, and the reason there isn't a lot of speculation is because he is that rarity in the modern game, a player who represents himself. There is no agent to leak stories to the press. Not that they do that on a regular basis, of course.
Chuck the word allegedly in there and you'll be okay. It is a rarity though, isn't it, this day and age?
Through the names of legendary Leicester managers to our left, and he certainly made a treasured contribution to the cause, hoping to become the 8th to win a second-tier title. Some great names on that list, one of whom has already been serenaded, Nigel Pearson. Franco Farrell, who left immediately to join Manchester United, that ill-fated spell in the early 70s. The fearsome Jock Wallace. Certainly got his teams very fit, probably by scaring them into it. It's Harry Winks. Moving inside again, and he might get a chance to unleash that left foot, and we'll say no more.
Yeah.
Well, it's not got a lot of publicity, but there is a chance to create a bit of history here for Leicester City and move outright into pole position in the Roll of Honour in the second tier, while clinching an 8th title. This is Brady. Comes out to Leicester. And now Miller. It's beyond Keane. And now Akgun can conclusively get it away from danger, or can he?
As I say, it's just a little bit of a lack of fluency you would normally associate with Leicester, particularly with their passing.
I suppose there's more than a touch of human nature about that.
Absolutely.
While it looked like they might be promoted by March at one stage, even when they were cruising by comparison to the rest, the levels of effort required.
I think we all honestly thought they were going to break every conceivable championship record, didn't we? After what, 30 games or so.
Break the record in a stellar field. Certainly strong the top end of the championship, as there has been in the last few seasons.
Jamie Vardy decided that should be a Leicester throw there. We just spoke about them losing the last 3 games, 1-0 away from home, and yet a win tonight. Does it equal or break a club record of away wins?
Yes, that's right. They have possibly equal the record of 14 away wins in a season, which was achieved in title-winning campaigns in different divisions in 08-09 in League One and 13-14 at this level. When we shouldn't forget they did break the 100 points mark. They can still reach it with 2 victories. Just in case you didn't believe me.
I just feel like they've got gears to go through, Leicester City here.
Yes, the transmission is not being tested really at the moment. This is Brown. And now Brady. He's a player with very high standards in that department.
Because Pereira takes up a good position, he feels like he has to bend it an awful long way to get it around and into the penalty area. This team have acquitted themselves pretty well in this first half.
They've beaten Leeds and Ipswich here. There was a little touch of controversy about the Ipswich victory, but they were certainly the better side by a good margin. And well, they did rather burst Leeds' bubble when they beat them here on Boxing Day, because it was the game that immediately followed their 4-0 thrashing of Ipswich at Ellen Road. This is Ndidi, Fatawi with lots of space, and he's the target, and he's found beautifully. Akgun makes a run one way, here he is, and Jamie Vardy with a chance to turn and a chance to score! And plant one hand on the the trophy. To the delight of one end of Deepdale. And something extra special to add to the pleasure of promotion could well be on the way.
Well, that's the problem when you play a team like Leicester City, is that they can be fairly quiet, and then all of a sudden, out of absolutely nowhere, they can hurt you. And judging by the celebrations of Jamie Vardy, I think he might have been being goaded by some Preston fans behind that goal, because he hooks the ball goalwards and he's off. It's not the cleanest strike he's ever going to hit. In fact, I'd go as far as to say it's likely a miss hit, in truth. But he doesn't care. Finds the corner of the net. And that's another one to an ever impressive goals tally.
Well, he won't be the first ace goal scorer to find you don't always get it right, have to get it right to get rewards. But there's a big reward on the way. As it stands, Leicester will be champions if they can maintain this lead. And it must be said that this season, I mean, he's not been a starter throughout the campaign, but what he has produced in the late autumn, possibly, of his career, it's quite phenomenal.
So the numbers speak for themselves, and you heard his enthusiasm before the game here to carry on. How good he feels.
Player who used to work making medical splints to someone who's reached some of the greatest heights of the game. Extraordinary story, and it's ongoing. There is not a final chapter being written anytime yet.
No, it's an incredible, amazing story that warms the heart. Where he's come from, the journey, the achievements, the successes, representing his country as well. Beyond even his wildest dreams, I'm pretty sure.
I suppose there could not be a more appropriate goal scorer if it wasn't quite a classic finish. It's Wink's ball.
Good 10 years ago. It's even better now. Phenomenal numbers, aren't they? Like I say, not that many starts, really. Big goals, big moments, reserved for big players, and he certainly falls into that category.
Leicester City's greatest hits from the choir behind the goal to our left.
Those misses at Bristol City are long forgotten, aren't they? He's not on his own, is he, being a big player for this team, stepping up right when they needed it most. Dewsbury Hall, Mavididi and Didi, Fatah, and Vardy. The only people that have scored in the last few games for Leicester City, as I say, in big moments.
Not just about what he does on the pitch, Jamie Vardy, but as we heard this week prior to the Southampton game, he called a players-only meeting to make some very telling points. And they certainly followed his advice against Southampton. Well, that's great work by Frökier as Preston look to fashion a response. So what a player who will be better next season can produce. I'm not short of capability in the attacking department, Preston. And, there is a statistical measure to show just how good finishers are, and that's how many shots they take to score a goal. And Preston have 3 of the 6 best finishers by that measure in the division.
Yeah.
Emil Rees on the bench tonight. Notice a certain Mr. Vardy in there as well.
It's incredible, isn't it, really, when you think only Rotherham have had fewer shots than Preston this season. They've been clinical when the chances have come, but maybe not enough chances have come just to get those extra points that would have genuinely given them a real chance to get in the top 6. Like I said, it's at this last 6 games, isn't it? The goals just dried up at the wrong time for Preston North End.
Malhelik at the top there. Huddersfield, I think probably all of his efforts have come from set pieces. He's done a wonderful job. And pretty much everything Mikey Johnston's touched in his half-season has turned to gold and goals. Who knows, he may have more for our delectation in the playoffs. They've got to secure their place first. They face Preston Saturday. Matawu. Just helped on its way by Ricardo Pereira. He was able to cut in, but it wasn't quite in a position to truly unleash.
He's on the stretch as he takes the strike. Oh, it turns into a cross in the end.
Cut out by McAteer from Lindsay. Bus. Cody. Winks. Didi. Alphas again. And Didi. Yannick Vestergaard.
This is what they do, isn't it? They took the lead and then they control the game, the tempo of the game, the areas that the game is being played in.
It's a style that has drawn criticism in quarters this season. Their voices aren't being heard quite as much at the moment.
That's why I allude to that Southampton game and that perhaps being what it's more likely to be next season in the Premier League. A lot less of the ball than they've had in the Championship.
Well, I must say, I mean, as much as there's been plenty to admire from Leicester this season, I have to say that was their most thrilling performance.
Yeah, absolutely. Done with the least amount of the ball.
Oh, Vestergaard with something of an aberration, and but he's atoned for it quickly. And this is McAteer. And Didi and Ricardo Pereira. Fast steps in. Maybe another opportunity for Vardy here. Difficult to truly trouble Woodman. Leicester poised to claim the title. Thanks to the old hand who's still producing heroics. Jamie Vardy, not a trademark finish, not a classic finish by any stretch of the imagination, but he got the job done in a game in which Preston have enjoyed plenty of territory without truly manufacturing chances to go with it. That's a familiar tale. But the story of the night, as it stands, is that Leicester City are closing in on the Championship title here at half-time at Deepdale. Preston 0, Leicester City 1. Celebrate at the end. It was Sunderland who secured, on a quite extraordinary day, a playoff place here a year ago. Maybe Leicester in jubilation come the 90-minute mark here tonight.
Another first half where Preston didn't get a shot on target, didn't score a goal. Has been a bit of a problem for them this season.
Scored 5 of the last 6 matches. 3 successive defeats. Yellow card for Alan Brown. The first of the game.
It's a similar one earlier, wasn't it? Allowed to get away with one. Not Alan Brown.
This is Ndidi. It's bringing Cody into proceedings. Fatawu. Robbie Brady concedes the free kick here. Now Vestergaard. Leicester unbeaten in 6 visits to Deepdale. There hasn't been a regular date in the diary for some considerable time. The last winning goal scorer here, calling that great survivor Andy King. That could be useful. Too high for Vardy.
But once again, the movement, the way that he drifts beyond defenders who are trying to mark him, exceptional. Fraction too high for him.
Andy King went from League One to the ecstasy of the Premier League title. Pereira. Apologies if some swearing offended you. Wanted the ball, but we'll go back to Fass. McAteer ahead of him. Be picked off by Miller. Osmajic. Alan Brown. Miller wants it. As it is, Preston will secure a free kick. Pereira on Brown. Brady, that's more like him. Miller. Possibility for Alan Brown in the mix.
What a delivery from Robbie Brady.
Alan Brown taking a while to make his way back. Moving quite as freely as we tend to expect, although he's applying a bit of pressure to a nervy Stolarczyk there. Will Keane. Brown not quite sort his feet out, and it's a Leicester counter on with McAteer, although Preston have the numerical advantage here. Vardy.
isn't it, for those Leicester City defenders? Preston North End just need to find a way of making it a bit more uncomfortable.
Furker now. And Ryan Ledson. Herrera has ticked himself back up after that spell on the ground. There he is, in fact. Involved in the defensive work. Now McAteer for Leicester. Harry Winks. Ferreira now to Akun. Tawu. Akun. Alan Brown with him. This is Winks. Moves it on to Fass. Drives forward with real interest here. Van Fass! And Varney's there to mop it up! And it'll take some prizing from their grasp now. Van Fass creating the unlikely opening. Jamie Varney, the grateful beneficiary. And a record 8th second-tier title is firmly in Leicester's hands now.
Well, I've written in my notes that Leicester can come here and play with freedom. Well, there's nothing that's going to be a better example of that than Wout Fass's run that has led to the easiest of goals for Jamie Vardy. Go out and enjoy themselves. Look at this, just drives. He's got no pass on, so he has to keep going himself. And we can pick holes in the defending, of course we can, but let's just give Wout Fass some praise. It's not the kind of run you expect from a central defender. He's unlucky not to score himself, but who's following it in? You know who's going to get there first, don't you? All day long. He tries to take the net off, Jamie Vardy. And enjoyed it in front of his own fans this time.
Well, with relish. And it's almost certain now. Well, he's really hit the heights, particularly in recent weeks. It's 4 goals in his last 3. By Hughes. Vardy started a party.
Well, it's been started all along. It's just getting going, isn't it?
Another party. To a lot of them to Enzo Maresca's house, go crashing somewhat to celebrate on Friday. Brady behind. Could be a wearying second half here for Preston.
Well, that's up to them, isn't it? Really. I don't think Ryan Lowe will accept anything other than all-out effort, commitment, desire to try and get back into this game.
That's the head of Lindsay.
The bottom line is that being outclassed by a team who really should outclass them. He would have known it would have been a difficult evening.
Really solid club, Preston North End, in every sense. club's admiring the way they do things here. It may not generate quite the thrills and spills that others have enjoyed or endured, but the financial footing is firm.
I think the ambition comes from within the walls of Preston North End, doesn't it, in terms of desire to just keep progressing, try and break into that top six. And for 41 games of this season, they were genuinely in there. And I think they deserve credit for that.
Top half, 6 of 9 seasons in the Championship. Phrase consistently close.
It's impressive, isn't it? After 3 goals in the second half.
3 of 88 now for the season.
Level with Ipswich, aren't they? In terms of goals scored, that is.
Winks. Bounce pass. Gets it back from Ndidi. Now McAteer. It's 3-0 in the reverse fixture. Longer to make the breakthrough. Still 0-0 at this stage of that game. It's Brady's challenge.
Oh, not happy with that challenge. Steps inside. It suggests there's an element of frustration in that challenge.
No debating the methods in that particular corner. Delivery they hope for Tawu. We'll get it back here. Back for Ndidi. He's had some great moments in front of goal this week, on the last week or so.
Even he's laughing at that one. Gave him the big goal-scoring build-up, didn't he, before the game?
It's always heartening for some of us to see their humanity done.
To finish here, Preston can get the next goal in this game. These fans, something to get stuck into at the minute. It's only the Leicester voices we can hear, and it's been that way all night, really.
Preston perhaps poised to make some attacking changes shortly. Brown in there, some Ndidi away. Brown decided to give the foul against Atwood.
He didn't feel there was an advantage, the referee there, so he's right to pull that back.
to give it a little moment to see how things develop. See how this develops. And Brown very capable. On this occasion, does not beat the head of McAteer. That's Ledson's head. Which puts Casey McAteer very slightly on the back foot. Brown closing in. No harm, no worries there from McAteer, easily out of the situation. Well, he made it look easy. Unisaku with a lovely bit of skill. And it's worked out too. He's managed to find Ricardo Pereira.
Pick out Jamie Vardy, they'll be desperate to try and get him a hat-trick. As he released this ball, he's caught. Unisaku, lovely bit of skill there. Nutmeg. Tries to find Vardy at the far post, but I think it's Robbie Brady. Any complaints about seeing a yellow card for that?
And there were none. The Irish international.
Heavy landing.
No concern here. It's only brief. Well, just to remind you of the situation, the trophy, as it stands, will be presented on Saturday. Leicester face Blackburn. Unless there's something dramatic. We can be certain of that, though, in the days to come as we seek to settle who will be the first to join Leicester in the Premier League next season. Ipswich at Coventry. As long as they avoid defeat, they will have it all in their hands on the final day. 4 more points required.
Yeah, remarkably. Whatever you say and whatever happens, it has been a remarkable effort from everybody at Ipswich Town.
Well, 12 years on from Southampton, hoping to go straight through from third tier to first. There was a little bit of a rush of those at that time when Norwich came through the season before.
I just think the gap has grown between League One and the Championship in those ensuing years, really, and that's what makes the Ipswich story one that I don't think many would have thought would be likely. A possible run at a playoff tilt, maybe. To be right in the automatic, flying all the way through, is remarkable.
I know there was some talk, maybe not from Kieran McKenna, but from others around the club, that they looked at Middlesbrough's 15 defeats last season as probably something realistic, and they got in the playoffs and only lost 6 games. Hardest team to beat in the division. Leicester, by contrast, have lost 10. It's McAteer.
He's just waiting on one. It's the header in the first half. Again, 2-0 up, you can afford a little smile. He would love an opportunity to help round his season off. Brilliant. Ricardo Pereira picks him out. It's awkward.
Vardy will challenge. Perhaps a perfect hat-trick in the offing. Although maybe just a hat-trick here. It is Vardy, but there's Woodman.
Yeah, almost telegraphed what he wanted to do here, Jamie Vardy. Woodman read him. And that's why he's denied the hat-trick. As he's bearing down, you would fancy him, wouldn't you? One-on-one. Credit Freddie Woodman. Guesses right, the goalkeeper.
trying to get free. Whoa. It's pretty wicked. May have just brushed Lindsay's head.
Incredible delivery, the pace on it. I don't think the replay does it justice.
Just waiting for a grateful recipient on the far post, wasn't it? But it did brush off Lindsay's head, so they'll have another opportunity once the balloon is popped. That was one of potential again. Fatawu trying to work it onto his favoured foot again. He's made an interesting run here. Drifted in, and McAteer takes the chance this time. And you can be certain now that that iconic trophy is going back to Leicester. The cream of the crop in the Championship.
Well, it was almost lackadaisical the first 25 minutes or so, and it's understandable given the celebrations, but it's been a completely dominant performance. And look at this for brilliance. Fatawu again, another assist to his name. McAteer is just praying that the ball arrives. Wants one more chance. I said it moments ago, and he gets it. And he's never going to miss from there. It's all about Abdul Fatawu. Brilliant skill and great composure to lift his head up and pick out his teammate. Partying in Preston. Going to be a long, enjoyable one for them.
There's trophies galore for Leicester. Well, Preston have made a change. Emil Rees thrust into the attack, replacing Milutin Osmajic. Horrible knee injury has blighted his time at Preston. Well, the sort of flair we don't relish seeing is delaying the restart here. Plenty of matters to deal with at the top for Leicester. They can just simply enjoy this period.
3 games ago it was all very nervous, wasn't it? A huge win against West Bromwich Albion, probably when they didn't deserve it, truth be told. Very lucky that West Bromwich Albion didn't have the shooting boots on, but incredible performance against Southampton. This Queen's Park Rangers' efforts against Leeds made life comfortable in the end.
Well, after a run where they were playing better in defeat than victory, they produced something very special against Southampton to set up celebration if Leeds slipped. Well, quite the curtain call for Casey McAteer after some moments that caused him visible frustration in front of goal. Wilfred Ndidi is also going to be withdrawn, but he'll be relieved and delighted in equal measure.
Yeah, very much so. Started the season on fire. Casey McAteer looked like it was going to be a big one for him. Injuries just hindered that. Hopefully a strong finish for him.
Well, another of the homegrown talents in Hamza Chowdhury comes on. And a familiar face here at Deepdale, Steffi Mabadini, one of 2 former Preston players on the Leicester bench tonight, makes an entrance. His route has certainly been a long and winding one in his career. Preston, Dijon, Montpellier, Charlton, Arsenal, Juventus. It's a rich and varied list of experiences. This is Fröke to Alan Brown.
It's about as difficult as it's got, isn't it? Stelarczyk is enjoying it now.
Chorus of acclaim for Enzo Maresca, taking on the challenge with alacrity. Less enjoyable for Ryan Lowe.
I think his team the game's going the way it probably should, given the resources, given the calibre his team are in opposition to here.
At least trying to summon up a defiant mood here. Drilled by Brady. One hand is but again diligent from Fatawu.
They work so hard, don't they, the wide boys? Here, Fatawu really help defensive solidity.
Just, demanded of them how to do that. Well, Lindsay with a sighter. Well, I felt there was a deflection. A player that doesn't score goals in quantity, given he's a central defender, but he certainly has scored some important ones this season.
I think he'll acknowledge that his team can't compete. Simple as that. Look at the numbers there. Nothing for Stelarczyk in the goal to do. Only 5 touches. And somebody that he would have loved to have had in the white shirts this season.
Well, they thought they did have him. They had actually agreed 2 deals, a loan and then a permanent transfer, in principle at least. That's a useful effort. Oh! And the post clattered by Fatawu.
Look at him, he's disappointed. The thirst for goals.
And a thirst for special goals.
Yeah. Deja vu, isn't it? We spoke about wide players. That's why they play on the opposite side to their strong foot, so they can cut in and get shots like that. Nearly worked a treat. It's a brilliant effort. Actually, his performance has probably deserved a goal.
Fröke chasing. Coming up against Vestergaard. As that pass goes wildly away from its intended destination. It's rare enough to have 2 Danes in direct competition in the Championship, never mind 2 from the same town. Well, there will be no hat-trick, but he has made a giant contribution again.
He's just doing what comes most naturally to him, isn't he? Jamie Vardy, and that is sticking the ball in the back of the net. Outstanding.
So Vardy and Akgun off, and it's Cannon and Hall, or Cannon and Dewsbury Hall. Keane chasing, that's Cody. for a challenge after the ball had been released.
Yeah, it's Tom Cannon.
Keen to show the work rate. Brown's off on a run. Bring Miller into proceedings. Brown away by Fass. Hughes to Brady. Ledson. Lindsay. Flick on by Cannon. Cody able to let it run to safety.
Well, he's one that's used to winning championship titles, isn't he, Conor Cody?
This is Wout Fass. Now Chowdhury. Bouncing back in the manner in which they have will mean as much to him as anybody at Leicester City.
Let's talk about that West Bromwich Albion game. How important was he in that game? And earning them 3 points. Hamza Chowdhury, 3 goal line clearances. Incredible effort.
Different sort of hat-trick. He said he hadn't experienced anything like it since his days in the under-9s. Navididi. Ricardo Pereira, Conor Cody. Emil Rees.
The work is excellent. They lose the ball, they hunt you down, try and get it back as quickly as possible. I've seen that before.
Dewsbury Hall. Navididi. Cannon. Dewsbury Hall, so fleet of foot, it will come out to Winks. Oh, Woodman worked again. Took a bit of an awkward hop for Keane. And Fass is able to glide in, but it is a foul on Miller.
Saves are mounting up here. The ball can't get through, but it falls lovely for Harry Winks, trying to pass it into the corner. Most of his passes have connected tonight.
Well, Ryan Ledson departs the stage to herald a milestone in the career of Dwayne Holmes, who makes his 300th league appearance in his career. Acquired from Huddersfield in the summer, with them when they were so close to a Premier League return, but his departure has proved to be well timed. Mathematicians will, of course, tell you otherwise, but Huddersfield's relegation effectively confirmed at the weekend. Holmes will get involved. Here's Watmore. And that could be a very useful ball indeed for Rees.
Well, that's the first big chance of the night. Comes because the centre-half steps into a great area and picks out a wonderful delivery. Rees, biggest concentration is to try and hit the target. Any kind of contact on target, have a great chance of scoring from that distance. It's the only real chance they've had all of night.
And it took a centre-back striding out to make it happen, something different. Something a little bit out of the ordinary. Rees, seen him dispatch chances like that. He's a player that's attracted plenty of admirers in his time in England. There was a big bid from Middlesbrough not that long ago. Maybe not in the context of Leicester City at £7 million, but certainly in the context of Preston North End. Who knows, there might be suitors to tempt them again in the summer. This is Mabadidi, but couldn't get the better of Dwayne Holmes. Furquier now to Miller. Cut out by Chowdhury. Harry Winks. Mabadidi.
Combination that's worked well, hasn't it, throughout the course of the season. Mabadidi and Dewsbury Hall linking up to effect.
Well, James Justin will play a bit part here this evening, replacing the headline act against Southampton, Abdel Fattawu. Produced another very impressive performance. Not long turned 20. I mean, the mind boggles really. And with the transfer activity in a somewhat strange position, Leicester, with special permission required to complete deals at present. He is rather dangling in a state of limbo, if that's possible. It's Cannon chasing. He dug it out there when it seemed like he might not. Desire to make something happen, and the end result is a corner.
It's a good little run. It's the time afterburners to get there, and does well.
Swinger from Dewsbury Hall. Took the low road, and Vestergaard make quite the contact. And Miller has checked in a bid to stay onside, but it's irrelevant.
Well, these are the little situations that when you play the best teams you have to take advantage of. Unfortunately, Preston haven't been allowed to
Taking taking the opportunity to refresh the ranks here, Preston. And it's something of the family affair, but it could be goodbye for one of Preston's finest servants of recent years. January 2014, he arrived somewhat unheralded from Cork City, and he is a name that will echo through the ages here at Deepdale, should he not choose to extend his stay. The Mawani brothers on. Noah and Theo, sons of Yule, who served this club so well in his time. Nigh on 200 appearances for Preston. And Leighton Stewart, who I think they would say is something of a work in progress up top. Also making an entrance. Side from Liverpool. Hall. Shari. Skipped off the head of Miller. Slightly difficult bounce for him. All in their own time. Remember, there is still the chance that they can reach 100 points against Blackburn.
There's not many do, so in front of their own fans, they're going to want to round it off. Blackburn have their own agenda, their own mission, trying to complete though.
To ensure survival down at the bottom. And there's also the small matter that Blackburn did take them apart there in the FA Cup last season. Slightly different cast list, but there will be that feeling of a revenge mission. Somewhere in there they did win pretty handsomely at Ewood Park earlier this season in the Championship, way back in October. Dewsbury Hall, lovely turn, and another two, just for good measure.
Well, quality player, he's enjoying himself. What remains of this game, can't get the power.
Well, it's been a joy to watch this season. Idolised Paul Scholes growing up, he's chosen his heroes well. Forget now that he did train briefly with Derby in his very young days. Doesn't get a mention very often. Winks making an enterprising run. The yellow card brandished as we head into a minimum of 4 added minutes. Holmes it was who made the challenge. pick it up again. Mavididi hoping to finish with a flourish here, Leicester. Hamza Chowdhury. Winks wants it. Oh, and that's a present here for Leighton Stewart. He's a player who really needs a goal to give him that injection of confidence.
Yeah, just lack of concentration from Connor Cody there. Stewart, wish that he could have that again. Doesn't get the height.
One Scouts are grateful that another didn't make the most of that. This is Mavididi. That was, incidentally, Preston's first shot on target of the night. This is Rees. He's given himself quite the race to run there.
He didn't have to either. He's got the legs to take Vestergaard on.
Well done. Who has stood out for you in this Leicester City performance?
I just think he's a Premier League player who was sold the dream, sold the project to play in a way that would really suit him, and he is and has been the glue holds it all together in that central hub for Leicester City. They're outstanding numbers. He's an outstanding player.
Winks.
Always available, isn't he? Always available, always demanding the ball.
Also said a very eyebrow-raising thing about Enzo Maresca, calling him the best manager he's ever worked with. And that's quite the competition.
It's an incredible start, didn't they? Leicester City, and it was important for Enzo Maresca to buy in everybody, particularly the players, into how he wanted to do things. A lot easier to get that when you rattle off 13 wins out of 14 games.
It's worthy of note when you mention that statistic that in his previous managerial foray he was fired after 14 games. The fantastic Foxes claim the prize. And as with everything this season, they've done it with comfortable room to spare, the nerves of recent weeks notwithstanding. Fitting too that Jamie Vardy was a key figure on the night, with the first two of the three they plundered here at Preston. The trophy is on its way, and history made. Leicester stand out on their own in second-tier terms, an outright record 8th title, a record they previously shared with Manchester City. There are some choppy waters to negotiate in the very near future, a lot of uncertainty surrounding them on the financial front, and in just what position they may start next season in points terms, but that is for the tomorrows. For tonight, it's about yet another party. Promotion clinched, and now the title. 2 goals from Jamie Vardy, 1 from Casey McAteer. As with everything this season, they have done it in style, and maybe a century of points is still to come. It finishes here at Deepdale. Preston North End 0, Leicester City 3. Leicester are the champions.